Welcome to Old Review. By old, it means that this album was released already in 2017, came here with quite a delay, and while going through with the more recent, more relevant reviews, I tried to get some of the older stuff as well coming out of the way. This one is Solfernus from Czechia, with the second album called Neoantichrist. This band is labeled as black metal, but it's not exactly your typical black metal if you listen to the music. First of all, it's quite slow tempo, that is literally slow tempo at some points and mid-tempo more often, but also because of some of the riffs and compositions are rather, say, unusual. They definitely have the black metal style. I mean, it's raspy vocals, some of the riffs are very kind of evil sounding, but some of the tracks, or at least parts of the tracks, are something like from a different genre, if you will. That is not to say it's bad, it's just different. And one going for Solfernus, in case you expect some kind of a Nordic black metal sound, is definitely gonna get disappointment, or at least surprised. I would say Solfernus is basically like the modern version of a Czech band Rude in so many ways that it's totally different, kind of unique, and at the same time it's also a little bit interesting. And once again, with the Satanath releases, I want to point out this is so cool what they're doing here, having this inside print also done. You can see all the logos, band photos, and the text here. This is very rare thing to do. I don't know why and where and how Satanath Records still does it, but I like that they do it. It makes these CDs kind of more cool. And the quality is always high with the releases. I mean, if you take a look at the paper and how it feels, it's quite thick compared to other bands. Yet still, it's mainly for rather unknown bands, such as the case is with Solfernus here. This band has been out since 2002, so not the most active ones, given that it's only 2 albums out in almost 20 years. Well, 18, but still. And as you can see, there's only one album before out, History and Coma, and I remember reviewing this in 2007, but really, I haven't had no recollection what the music was like until I was actually reading my own review, because, I mean, this cover image looks very familiar, and I'm like, yeah, now I get this, but I had no recollection whatsoever, because I reviewed this some 13 years ago, and that tells you quite a bit of the quality of the music. I mean, it wasn't the bad, but kind of a mediocre. And unfortunately, the same goes with the Neoantichrist. This 39 minutes of an album is kind of interesting because of its unusual angle to black metal. Like I said, I like that they're doing these kind of a mid-tempo parts, and they can have kind of unique, or at least rather uncommon atmosphere with the music. Now, the production is totally top-notch. It's something like, wow, how can this virtually unknown band have such a strong production that it even competes with the big name bands? But that doesn't really save the band from the fact that it's not that well written. I mean, they have cool ideas here and there, and sometimes you feel like, hey, maybe this album is actually gonna take some air under its wings and gonna fly high, and only to see them fall flat quite soon. It's just like a chicken flight. Short bursts of flight and whee, boom. And then you're like, yeah, it started nice, but really didn't flow or fly too far. Now, I really can't put my finger on it. What's failing here? Mostly it could be easily just described. It is partially good and partially not. And that is obviously a matter of opinion, because some people might totally be liking. Once again, I still want to say that if you like bands such as Rude, going with the kind of a peculiar angle in black metal, you might find this likable too. Because like Rude, it has lots of similarities with kind of a classic heavy metal and other genres beyond black metal. This also has its kind of a roots, spreading around in different angles, and that makes this nice and interesting. But the execution is not right there. Even with the strong production, sometimes especially those double vocals, feel a little bit off, like, why are you doing that? I mean, you have probably a nice idea how to do it, but it's not really cutting it. So, interesting bands with a different kind of angle, so proceed with caution. In case you want something different from your black metal, this is something to go for. But in case you just prefer the Nordic type, that is mostly Norwegian, Swedish, and Finnish type of black metal, I don't think this is gonna do it for you. But obviously, you want to make up your mind. The links are provided for your musical endeavors and adventures. Take a listen, take a look, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care. Bye bye. Stop it.